And timber can quite successfully replace other materials that are not renewable. And when we produce different wooden products, we also generate less CO2 if compared with other industries. Besides, timber can be used repeatedly. If we have a rundown building that has to be demolished, we still can use the timber it has been made of as a fuel or for other reasons. And now, at least in Latvia, each year we plant 25 million trees, and according to these calculations, this year we can say that each minute in Latvian forests 47 cubic meters of timber are grown, which means that as we sit here and talk, and how many minutes have passed, we can calculate how much timber has grown in Latvian forests. This number is something we can be proud of. When we talk about timber as building material, it's quite fashionable, and it's also quite fashionable to be environmentally friendly. Besides, it's also quite beneficial in terms of costs. Here we can see the comparison with different other such as building materials such as steel and concrete, and also the impact on the environment is compared in these graphs. So we can see that in all parameters the timber is the best and environmentally friendly material that can be used in construction. So this presentation will be made available to you, so you will have a closer look afterwards. If we build buildings out of wood, we may also contribute to improving the situation in terms of pollution and the greenhouse gases. As I already mentioned, the trees or timber acts as something that conserves or captures the CO2, while aluminium and other materials only produce additional CO2. Here you also see a very simple graph. Here we can see that the timber or trees absorbs the CO2 while the aluminium, concrete and steel only emit CO2. And as I already mentioned, by using timber you may benefit financially. So all the products can be recycled and reused, and if you use plastic window frames, of course there's nothing you can do about it when they are broken, while wooden window frames can be quite flexibly adjusted and repaired. I will just swiftly go over a couple of pictures and ideas regarding the green buildings. You can also see here our website, greenhouses.lv, which means we are not, we don't have to sacrifice our comfort, yet we can live environmentally friendly. Here you can see some wooden buildings in Latvia. Most probably you have seen such pictures. Of course, it also creates a very cozy atmosphere in your home. And a couple of pictures also from throughout the world as an example of what type of application can be implemented. So let's turn to the questions. So the first question, actually, so of course the question is whether we are very efficient about using the timber, because you said that, yeah, after the Japanese went to Russia, they cut down all the trees that they could get their hands on. Yes, you have something to add to your comment. Meanwhile, I can say that whether we should cut all the trees or leave something. Of course, we should balance between the economic needs and the environmental needs. And of course, we should also observe the laws and regulations that can be applied. And of course, we should focus on sustainable management of forests. So we have actually 53% of our territory is covered by woods or forests, and so it seems like it's only a political issue that we build gas-powered power plants instead of using our own resources, because it is clear that we can take so much from our forests. That would be the first item. So it is clear that it is about the politics, why we buy Russian gas instead of using our own resources. That could also create new jobs. So we fail to employ the potential that offered by our resources. And Latvian State Forest is a company owned by our government. So it is hard for me to understand why our politicians are reluctant to be more efficient. So why you are not the ones who bribe our politicians, unlike the Russian gas producers? Oh, probably I will not comment on who's bribing who, but I agree with you fully. All the points you mentioned are quite good. And of course, we can see that Latvians are not very happy to use the Russian oil and gas, but at the same time, you are also criticized for cutting down too many trees and exporting all our resources. So how come should we cut more trees and plant more trees? Should we use them as firewood? Not only in Kuldīga, which is the only city that only relies on firewood in terms of heating. So there is a point in what has been said. So how do we deal with this situation? Probably the newly established enterprises, such as a production plant in Ventspils city, which is also has certain innovative solutions aimed at efficient use of wood. And of course, also at the government's level, at ministerial level, ideas should be generated so that the entrepreneurs are motivated to engage in such activities. So afterwards, we will have a discussion with politicians. So let's see, probably we'll have some candidates for the post of Minister of Agriculture. So let's see what they will have to say. Aina Caune, I represent the Environmental Protection Club, and here among the handouts we have this booklet regarding the FSC, and you also mentioned that in your company contributes to the forest-friendly management practices. However, we heard from the mass media that your company actually has huge problems with this FSC certificate. Of course, you can read about it in your handouts. This is the certificate that states the standards according to which you should manage your forests. So some half a year ago, I heard that the state forestry actually doesn't have any longer this certificate, and if so, how does it goes hand in hand with your idea of being sustainable? Actually, frankly speaking, I'm not the one to be competent about these issues. We have a dedicated department in our company which is in charge of the certification. But of course, this issue is not as simple as it may sound from the mass media, and not always compliance with this certificate proves that you are acting responsibly. So probably I will not go into further details about it. So this seems also to be a political issue. So so far so good. So any other questions?